This is the story of our farm. 4.5 years ago, we bought this beautiful property. Originally, it was 89 acres of beautiful farmland. We bought a section, and another person purchased the rest of it. We have just a small section, and the other person has the rest of it. But we are happy with the amount that we bought at the price that we got it for. Our section was never farmed, nothing was ever planted on it in terms of um, greens and corn or any of those big crops that is being farmed. We got the virgin part of the land, and we are very grateful for that because that's exactly what we were looking for. We didn't want land that has been filled with chemical and farmed. So we are starting from scratch with virgin land. When we got to the farm, we waited a couple of months and we decided to get chickens. And of course, we had to put up a fence. So that's exactly what we did. We put up a fence and we started to raise chickens. Now, this property has a lot of wood on it. There is about half an acre of forest on the other side. And right next to where I'm standing here, we have two apple trees, a big one and a medium-sized one. And we have a lot of other trees growing in that area. So we have wood and brambles in abundance. And so it's just very easy to cook outside, make meals, and to just enjoy bonfires and anything outdoor cooking that you would like to enjoy. You can enjoy it because there's just an abundance of wood. As you can see in my surroundings, it's just really, really a blessed piece of land, in my opinion, because everything that we want and need is on the land. We have lots of water, and it's just amazing. The next thing that we did was put up a greenhouse, and this greenhouse has served us tremendously. It's in the right location and it gets the right amount of sunlight and water, and the soil inside of it is very fertile. And it took us about a year and a half to get the soil to where we really wanted it to be. But once the soil had settled itself and just come to its own, we produce a lot of food in this greenhouse. And even in the cold weather, we can grow lots of greens. Now on this bed I have onions, and every year those onions come back, and these onions are sweet onions, and they're just very, very tasty. You can actually eat them raw because they have this nice flavor. Moving on, we also decided to get some very handy tools that is very necessary for when you're living off grid. Well, not really off grid, but rural living. And so we decided to invest in some different sizes of machetes. And so I invested in some different ones, different sizes, and this is one that I just opening today. And I bought this one because I saw a lot of good reviews about it, that it's light, it stays sharp, it cuts really well, and you can hang it on your side. So actually I've been using this for quite a while now, and it's amazing, and it's a good form of protection from snakes and wild animals, and even anybody who wants to come to your property. I think once they see you have a weapon on your side, they don't really bother. But this stays really, really sharp, and it cuts through wood, and it's just amazing. Raising chickens was one of the best things we have invested in on our farm. We decided to raise chickens for eggs, for meat, and to make a small business. And this was very, very successful. When you decide to raise chickens, you got to make sure that you have a very clean, well ventilated area for your chickens so that you would not have diseases, and also pests and rats and stuff would not get into your coop and eat your chicken feed and also spread diseases. So that was something that I really focused on when we got our chickens. I decided to have just the right amount of chickens based on the structure that we built, and also have some enclosures where it's very easy for them to go in and out, and also to have an area where they can free range, a big enough space. And this was so amazing. As you can see, my yard is very clean. Each day I rake up all the straw and little debris that is in the yard, because I tend to give my chickens a lot of grass and straw. And I get up and I also cut fresh leaves and things for them. They really enjoy that. And I rake it up. Then I sprinkle a little bit of food in between, and so they can scratch. And this is a way of you making compost for yourself, as they scratch the piles of food that you created there for them, like what you gathered up. They will break down that material, and this will make really nice compost. And this compost goes into my garden that I will show you later on. But this is a good way to just let your chickens work for you. So all winter long, I feed my chickens a very high fat diet. I ensure that I mix a lot of fatty foods into their feed. I also buy a lot of like beef fat and melt that down, and then you can add different things in it like seeds and grains to give them that extra fat that they need in winter. And during winter, I just allow my chickens to lay whatever eggs they want. I don't give them any light. I just ensure that their coop is just filled with straw, and that their feet are warm, and they have enough water to drink and enough food to keep their body warm and functioning. Then in the spring, they lay tons of eggs all spring long and all summer long until the winter comes back. They just keep laying a lot of eggs because I feed them a very rich diet. Once or twice a week, I allow them to free range all over my property. Why I do that? It's because I want them to go out there and explore and to eat different insects and things like that. But I have to keep an eye on them because I have a lot of wild animals, and of course I don't want them to get devoured, because these are my chickens and this is where I am running my business from. The eggs provide money for me, and they also provide nutrition for our family, so I have to be very careful with them. But as you can see, they have a very large enclosure, so they're fine for the rest of the time when they're not roaming around on my property. But this is what I do to ensure that I have all these eggs that you're seeing in the video. Another very vital thing that is so important for the health of your chicken is ensuring that you give them the proper nutrition. I mix my own feed. I buy wheat, barley, corn, and other different grains, and I mix my own food. I give them a ratio of 50% corn, and then I divide the rest of the feed or the grains that I'm using to like a 5 5 5 10 ratio, and over the past couple of years, I have come to like a perfect ratio that my chickens like, and that would ensure that they produce a lot of eggs for me. So I think this is very, very important if you want to go into raising chickens on your farm and to make some money raising chickens and selling eggs and stuff like that. You need to mix your own feed and really go into the nutritional value of the things that you're going to give to them, because they have lots of space and there's grass everywhere. I cut grass for them mostly every single day, and in our garden we grow extra greens and vegetables so that they can eat that. Giving your chickens a very healthy diet is going to ensure that you have very delicious eggs, and they would lay a lot of eggs for you. Besides raising chickens and having a good source of healthy protein that is organic and doesn't have any chemicals, we also grew massive amount of gardens. So in this video you will not see our huge garden, but we have about half an acre or a little bit less of garden that we grow. We grow pumpkins and squash and sweet potatoes and tomatoes that we use for canning, that we store in our cellar. And we grow a lot of fruit trees like plum and pears and a lot of berries. So I think we have about 15 to 20 different berries that we grow there. And then we have flowers, which are our pollinators to pollinate all the things that we're growing. Now in this property, on that other side, we call it the market garden, and this area love pumpkin, so we grow lots of pumpkin. 2 years back we had so much pumpkins that I checked, I think it was 230 pumpkins that we had. I think we grew 5 different variety of pumpkins that year, but we just had pumpkins galore. We gave away pumpkins, we store in our cellar. It was just amazing. But this property really loved pumpkins. Now right here we have our greenhouse, like I mentioned before, and around the greenhouse I created a container garden, and this container garden is just amazing because I can grow anything that I want to grow in those containers. I have a variety of containers, small, medium, and very large ones. These containers are all free. I pick them up on the side of the road. If you're going to have a farm, if you want to live in a rural area and you really want to be self-sufficient and you want to grow food on a budget, go outside when it's recycling day and you can find all kind of containers, all kind of buckets, and you can grow your food in them. I lay paper down and then I lay plastic on top of it, and this is what I am covering the soil with because I don't want the grass to come up, because we have lots of grass growing everywhere, and so this keeps the grass down and it keeps the between the containers very clear, so it's just easy to go around and harvest things. But we have lots of gardens, and if you've been watching my videos you would see that I have gardens in 3 different places, actually 4 different places. I have my road, 5 different places. I have gardens in the front of my house, I have the huge market garden on the other side, then I have my rose garden with some other greens mixed up in it, and then I have another garden where I grow a lot of other vegetables like right next to the house, which is just like the kitchen garden. And then I have the greenhouse, and then I have this other area like I mentioned where we are growing things in containers. So when you're living out in a rural area and you have space, it's important to just maximize your growing spaces. Of course, make your property beautiful and appealing and aesthetic for the eyes. Grow, plant flowers and everything like that, but make sure you grow enough food that's gonna be sufficient enough for your family so that you have enough food during the winter time. In the winter time, I feel so blessed, and it's so amazing just to go in the cellar or to go to my pantry and just take some things that I've canned from my garden, especially beans and peas and potatoes and all that kind of good stuff. It just is so amazing to eat this fresh, delicious food that you grow with your own hands, pesticide free, and your hand work that land and you produce that amazing stuff that you and your family can enjoy. Building a very productive and working homestead or farm, anyhow you want to call it, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of dedication, and it also takes vision. But once you decided on what you really want to accomplish, what you want to achieve for your family, the goals that you have in place, Once it is doable and it is realistic, and you chip at it every single day, at the end, you would have something beautiful. You would have something that you are proud of. You would have something that when you look at it, you would say, oh, this is the work of my hands. And every time I look at my homestead, my farm, all the things that I've bought in, all the different gardens that I've created, all the fruit trees and the plants that I have bought in, I am just amazed at the amount of work that we have done over the past couple of years that we have been residing. When I go back and I look at the empty property just with the house on it and nothing that was growing, I used to say, the first year I moved here, I said, oh my goodness, I can't believe that the people didn't even plant flowers around their house. I mean, when we bought the house, they had flowers, like hanging flowers on the side of the house. They put up some kind of hanging racks and they had flowers around the house, but they didn't have any flowers in the ground. And there was just 2 apple trees on the side of the house. That was it. And I'm saying, like, this is so much space. Why didn't they grow things closer to the house? But I guess they were growing things on the other parts of the land because it was 89 acres of land, and they had animals and they grew corn and soya beans and different kind of things. So I think maybe they didn't feel the need to grow things so close to the house. Maybe they had a small patch away from the house where they grew things. I don't know. But it was just strange that they didn't have a garden like so close to the house where you can just step out of the house and just harvest what you wanted. So my intention was to ensure that we have gardens that was close by the house, vegetable gardens that was close by the house that we can just go out and harvest. But also one of the main goals for me was to make sure that I'm able to grow enough food to feed my family and don't have to depend on the grocery store so much going out there to buy things. Like when you are living in a rural area, when you decide to grow your own food, you can grow every single thing. I've experimented with a lot of different things growing, and this year I want to experiment with more things like wheat and barley and different grains that can be harvested and made into flour and different stuff like that. But as you work on your land, as you plant things, you would get to know what the land likes, what it doesn't like. You would see areas that is very fertile, you would see areas that need a lot of work, and you would learn a lot of things as you go along. And then you can make your property the exact way you want it. You can switch things around and change the locations of different vegetables. You can move trees around and you can do lots of stuff. But this is a learning process, and the only way you're going to learn is by doing it, by experience. And growing up in the Caribbean, gardening is a passion for us. We always have lots of gardens all around the house, and we grow anything and everything that you could imagine. So gardening is not something that is new to me. What is new to me is being in a new environment with, different climatic conditions, a different soil, and different things that is available to me in my specific area. But this is the video, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comment section in the bottom, and let's have a conversation. Let's learn together. Let's grow together, and let's plant something. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what space you have. I think you can actually plant something in a pot. You can trellis things. You can do aquaponics. You can do so many things, but you can grow something. You can grow a tomato, you can grow a pumpkin, you can grow lettuce, you can grow so much things. All you have to do is create a space and just be dedicated to what you're doing. So guys, be blessed.
it all just a dream, just all in my head? Floating rivers upstream, the things that you said. Tell me and be honest, tell me, did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winter's snow? Tell me and be honest, tell me, should I've known that you'd be leaving me so painfully quiet and slow? I try my best to move on, to let go. Say time is a healer, just you wait and see. The problem is for me, I need an eternity. So tell me and be honest, tell me, did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winter's snow? Tell me and be honest, tell me, should I've known that you'd be leaving me so painfully quiet and slow? I try my best to move on, letting go. Did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winter's snow? Tell me and be honest, tell me, should I've known that you'd be leaving me so painfully quiet and slow? Did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winter's snow? Tell me, should I've known? Try my best to move on.